Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. Today we are going to be talking about why people find you beautiful. So, what do they find beautiful about you? What is it about your physical appearance, your energy that draws people in and attracts people? We're going to be getting into all of it. And today we have a beautiful selection of crystals for you guys to choose from. So, if you're used to this channel, you know what to do. Just scroll down to the timestamps and you can jump into your pile whenever you want to. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. And basically, you're going to see which one of these crystals is just calling your energy and your attention in, drawing you in towards it. And then as soon as you've made up your mind, you can scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and the description and jump into the pile that will have the message for you. So pile number 1 is going to be that dark emerald green crystal. Pile 2 is the white cream colored crystal. Pile 3 is the purple crystal, and pile 4 is the light green crystal, and I'll throw those numbers up on the screen as well. And if you guys like how I read tarot and you want to see more of my content, be sure to head to my Patreon to see all my additional readings. I just posted in early love, early dating readings. So if you just started dating someone and want some clarity on what they're thinking or feeling, then that's a great one to watch. But as soon as you sign up for Patreon, you'll get access to over 60 additional readings, and new ones go up all the time. There's actually still time to vote in our little poll to decide on the topic for the next reading. So if you join when this video is posted, then you should have a chance to vote to see what kind of a topic you want to see next. And we do polls and votes frequently. So there's a lot of content over there on Patreon. And if you want to join us, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description for my Patreon. And if you want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me, have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel for you, and you can basically ask me about whatever you want, within reason, of course, but most things are totally fine. It's your time and you get to choose how you use it. So yeah, if you want to get that, go to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. Thank you guys so much for watching. So if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need, but we're going to go ahead and jump into pile 1. Hey Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So let's start out with your oracle cards. You guys got the Spirit Whisperer, the Word Lord, the Well Watcher, and the Wise Woman of Wonderland. So the first thing I'm hearing is that you guys have an innate grace to how you move. Also the color of your skin. I'm hearing that your skin just looks very creamy and fresh and beautiful. I don't know if you guys just glow from the inside or you have very clear skin, but I feel like there's something about your skin that's very luminous and you have this glow to you. I also feel like you guys are very graceful with how you move. Like when you're walking across the floor, you may seem like you're kind of gliding across the floor. You might not seem like someone who's super clumsy or like stomping around, but you may just move with an easiness to your movements, a grace, and there's something kind of, I want to say, quiet about your energy. I don't know if some of you guys are introverts, but I feel like you don't really try to be the center of attention or anything like that. It's not like you're inviting everyone to look at you or desperate for people to pay attention. It feels like you really have this independent vibe. You do your own thing. I'm also seeing beautiful long hair for some of you guys. I feel like especially if you have dark hair, it's just really, really beautiful and people are very enchanted by this hair. But if you have light hair as well, of course, it would be beautiful too. But there's something about your hair, but there's a vibe about you that, like I said, is kind of quiet and mysterious. People not really being able to figure you out. And I feel like people put you on a little bit of a pedestal. They see you as very wise. Your intelligence is part of this. People see you as very intelligent and very smart. And you have that kind of like quiet energy that draws people in. Like you're not trying to get people to look at you. And so I think in that way, people really want to stare at you. It almost feels like you have the vibe of having like a secret at all times, you know, like I feel that people might even leave a conversation with you and still feel like they don't really know you very well. I don't know if you guys just don't talk a lot or you're not putting all your business out there, but you feel very discreet and like you keep a lot of things to yourself. And I feel like that really makes people think on you, ruminate on you even more. Like after you left the conversation or after you left the room, they're still kind of left wondering or wanting to know more about you. There's still a lot left unsettled and a lot left unanswered for them. So I feel like in a way, a lot of people have a lot of like fantasies about you. They may imagine that you have this like side boyfriend and you don't talk about it, or that you moved from another city, or that you have some really cool job and you're just not telling anyone. Because I feel like if anyone comes off with the vibe that they could be like a secret agent and pull that off because they have that level of discretion, it's you guys. You just seem like you would kind of, people are going to have to work to get to know you. And I feel like in that way, getting to be around you, getting to be in your presence, it becomes kind of a prize. It's very like hard won. It's like you're not just going to give that away to everyone. So maybe not everyone will notice you pile one, but I feel like the people that do, it's like they're addicted and they just want to know so much about you. They can't stop thinking about you. You're on their mind all the time. They kind of like fixate on you and are very curious about you. They may play out fantasies or scenarios in their head about you. They may, it may be like 3 p.m. and they just randomly have thoughts of like, I wonder what pile one is up to. I wonder what pile one is doing right now, because it's like they just know enough, like just enough to start piquing their interest and imagining things about you. You have a very mysterious vibe and also a very intelligent vibe. You come off like someone who, even if you might not speak that much, when you do speak, it's very interesting stuff. It's very intelligent stuff. You're telling people things that maybe they've never heard before. You might have a lot of knowledge. And I also feel like you give off a very independent vibe. I feel like you give off the vibe of someone who can be fine on their own. You're not desperate for company. You're not going to be sobbing yourself to sleep if you don't have a party to go to this weekend. It's like people know that you can do it on your own. You're not playing hard to get. You really are hard to get. It feels like you have found a level of inner peace or satisfaction with your life where someone needs to really come correct and be bringing their A game in order to kind of compete with the happiness, fulfillment, and peace that you already have. So I think what's really interesting is how many very spiritual cards as well as very wise cards we got, intelligent cards. Maybe some of you guys have a really good vocabulary, but I feel like you give off that bookish, intelligent vibe that's very attractive. I'm seeing Rory Gilmore in my mind. She definitely has that beautiful creamy skin and dark hair vibe. But, I think for her, like she just comes off, there's other pretty girls, but she comes off like she's really smart and she comes off like she has a lot of depth to her. And I think that's why so many guys in the show really liked her. And that's what I'm getting with you is like, you don't just seem like someone that someone want to sleep with once and then never call again. You seem like someone that you could have an amazing conversation with and go out to eat with and talk all night, and they'd always have interesting things to say. So I feel like that really draws people in. I'm also hearing your eyes are very striking. I found people who are very intelligent, they show that through their eyes. Like their eyes just seem more awake. They just seem like more on and like they're paying attention. You know what I mean? Where some people can seem kind of like sleepy or on autopilot, or like they're not really noticing that much. It feels like you guys would just be able to look into someone's soul almost. Like there's something very perceptive about it. And if someone even tried to lie or pull the wool over your eyes, you would be the kind of person who would notice. So I feel like your wisdom, your intelligence, it's very attractive, but it also might intimidate a lot of people. If you have a large vocabulary as well, that could be also something people find very beautiful and attractive about you guys. If you have freckles as well, that's another thing that people find really, really beautiful. And I'm also hearing your hands. It might even just be your hand movements being very beautiful, graceful, gentle, and having like a kind of dance or rhythm to them. but I'm feeling like your hands are extremely beautiful. They may be long and slender, but there's some kind of a grace with how you move that people find really stunning and they can't forget about it. Let's get into some tarot though. So we got the Page of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, the Justice card, the Chariot, the Four of Cups, and the Four of Swords. So I think it's interesting we got the Four of Cups and the Four of Swords. Both of these cards are about thinking, ruminating. I mean, kind of dreaming. And I feel like there's something about you, like I said, that just captures people's imagination. They may dream about you or think a lot about you, or you might even find you meet people and they tell you stuff that you would never guess. Or like it's almost like they have a story about you in their mind. Like you might make a new friend and they tell you something like, oh my God, I bet you have the most attractive boyfriends. Or like, I bet you've dated the cutest guys. And you're like, huh, why would you think that? Or, oh, I bet, I bet you've traveled a lot, or I bet you probably have like a really cool work job, right? Or something like that. I feel like people are constantly creating stories about you. Like you're an actually interesting person. I was reading a book about writing and someone was saying, the writer who wrote this book, Patricia Highsmith, she's an amazing writer, but she was saying that, and I've read like all her stuff, but she was saying that it's interesting when you meet different people. Sometimes someone will say, oh, you got to meet my friend. They have all these interesting stories and, you could write a book on them. So you'll meet with the person and they won't inspire you at all. You'll just talk to them and they'll be telling you like crazy stuff, like jumping out of an airplane in Australia and, meeting the prime minister of some country and how they had this late night car chase in Amsterdam and all this crazy wild stuff. And you're like, okay. And it just doesn't inspire you. You don't feel anything. And then they said, on the other hand, you might meet someone who's like quiet, kind of like a nobody. Like other people might be like, oh, why are you talking to them? They're kind of boring. But there's something about them that just inspires you so much. And you think about them all the time. And you might write characters based on them or imagine all these scenarios. And there's something kind of indefinable or unpredictable about who's going to inspire you and who's going to be fertile for your imagination. And I feel like you guys would be that person that you would just inspire people to write about you or to think about you or to imagine things. There's just something about you that kind of sends people's imaginations running a million miles an hour. So even if you don't have that many crazy stories, and like I said, someone might meet you and say, oh, I bet you dated all these cool guys, and you're like, no, not really. Like they may be totally off base in the things they're guessing about you. It's just something kind of beguiling about you and unique and kind of unknowable. So it's almost like you remind me of a deep pool of water where you can't really see that far underneath the surface. You don't really know what's at the bottom. You might be able to see a few inches deep into the water, but there's something there, but you just don't know what it is. So I feel like in that way, thinking about you becomes kind of addictive to people. I do feel like when they're around you, there's something very emotionally supportive and chill about your energy, very sweet and kind about your energy. Not like you're overly saccharine sweet, trying to be like too nice or fake, but there's something very nurturing about you. There's something very kind, like you would really look out for the people around you and really be very emotionally in tune with people. Like if someone's having a bad day, you would notice. If someone has changed their hair, you'd notice. You're very like attentive to the outside world. You're very much focused on others rather than yourself. And I'm also seeing some of you guys have really beautiful cheeks. Like the curve of your cheeks is very attractive. You may have high cheekbones or just something very striking about your facial features, especially I think combined with your eyes. So again, I actually feel like a lot of people would be intimidated by you at first. We do have the Chariot, which is ruled by Cancer, and then we also have Justice card ruled by Libra. So with Cancer, again, there's that energy of being so nurturing, looking out for the people around you, being very sweet, being very emotionally receptive. If someone is going through it, you would be the first to notice that. And I feel like that's something that really gets people going, is like you have this intelligence, but it's not just like an intelligence that's cut off from emotions or kindness. It's not like that person who's super smart and thinks they're too good for everyone and isn't emotional at all. It's that person who's very smart and intelligent, but still chooses to be kind and doesn't think that they're above anyone and would go out of their way to help people. So I feel like a lot of people think of you as someone who would make a great long-term partner or serious partner, not just, like I said, a one-night stand or a very quick romantic situation. I also feel like I was saying, there's a lot of people who are intimidated by you, would like to be able to talk to you, but they hold themselves back because they're afraid that they might not be smart enough for you, or they may not have anything interesting to say to you. And you do feel like you would have a lot of romantic suitors and a lot of romantic opportunities and a lot of people who want to be around you. We also have this Justice card ruled by Libra, and Libra is a very graceful energy. It's very diplomatic. It always knows what to say in different social situations. Another thing about Libras is they often have excellent manners, excellent social graces, and decorum. And I feel like, again, you guys would have that natural grace and probably great manners. You probably would be very polite and pay attention to that. And the way you dress and carry yourself is with that kind of graceful Libra vibe. Another thing about Libra is they're not prone to like embarrassing themselves, flying into a fit of rage and, saying crazy stuff. They're always going to kind of bite their tongue and say things to keep the peace. So again, I feel like because of that, they sometimes can have a mysterious vibe because Libra's not going to keep it 100% with you sometimes. Like they may be mad about something, they're not really going to tell you. And I feel like in that sense, the more you kind of hold yourself back, the more people are like, I need to know, I need to understand pile one, because pile one, I know they're not telling me. I know they wouldn't just put it all out there. Let's get into some song cards for pile number one. What kind of song cards sum up the vibe for pile one, Spirit? So we got It's All Coming Back to Me Now. Okay, and I love that video. It's like probably my favorite music video. It's so Venus vibes. The Venus vibes are so strong in that video. And I feel like, again, you guys really do exude Venus vibes. We have Libra, which is ruled by Venus, and Venus is the planet of beauty. Venus is the planet of grace, beauty, luxury, and Venus is also very like unrushed, unhurried. I don't know if there's something about you where you're not the type to like speed walk around and rush, but you seem like someone who kind of takes your time, is very like rooted in your own energy. You're not going to allow someone else to like push you into doing something. Feels like you have this inner sense of grace and calm, and I feel like being around you makes other people feel calm as well. Like you're that kind of person where when they're around you, it almost feels like taking a breath or relaxing or chilling out. Even if you're the kind of person who gets anxiety or something, you might just have that effect on others where being around you just makes them feel like, oh, I can kind of take a step back. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with your unhurried, graceful movements and the way, again, you're never trying to be the center of attention. I feel like what matters to you much more than being the center of attention is kind of making sure things are done right, making sure things are intelligent, and making sure that, you didn't make a fool of yourself. You're very elegant, pile number one. And so I feel like the more you kind of keep your, like I said, grace, decorum, intelligent vibe, you're not allowing people to stress you out, the more beautiful and luminous you are. And you have this kind of queen, like regal vibe. You know how like Cleopatra or Queen Elizabeth or all these famous queens, they just seem very like powerful in their own energy, but they're not trying to advertise that. They just seem very calm, relaxed, and like they wouldn't be trying to impress anyone. You give off that vibe for sure. So we also got our swords, band of horses, and there's also that intellectual quality where I feel like people think that you would be into really cool music like indie rock or something that is more intelligent, not just like whatever pop song is playing on the music. And we just got Ariel Pink, so that kind of echoes that same energy. Feels like heaven, but you would be into like really cool, atmospheric, maybe even like dream pop or something very intellectual in some way, something that has a vibe or an energy. I'm also hearing beach house in my mind, which I love and is a super like atmospheric, chilled out kind of music. So yeah, I think people just assume that you would be having a really cool aesthetic when it comes to your fashion, when it comes to your music and all of that. And finally we got I Can't Go For That, Hall and Oates. And yeah, I feel like you have that vibe of if you don't like the vibe, if you don't like the energy, you will leave or you'll ghost. You are very aligned with your energy and what works for you and what feels good to you. And if something isn't for you, you're not going to accept it. So again, you're not playing hard to get, you really are hard to get. People assume you have a lot of suitors, you have a lot of romantic opportunities, and that you're not really that energy of being like desperate to be liked or wanting someone to come into your life and save you. You feel very self-reliant and very self-possessed. Let's get into some astrology dice for pile. Ooh, okay, that one fell. Let me get that. That one landed on the 6th house, Virgo. Okay, so that makes sense. So we got Aries, we got Mercury, and we got Virgo, the 6th house, which is ruled by Mercury. So Gemini, Virgo, and Aries vibes. So with Aries, that is an energy that's all about the self, the first house, which is all about me, what I want, who I am. And so again, I feel like you have this strongly independent vibe. Aries is super independent. It opposes the 7th house of Libra, of relationships. So it's all about me and what I want. And again, I feel like you have a really strong independent streak, but that's not a bad thing. I actually think a lot of people are attracted to this, think it's very beguiling, think it's like a little bit of a challenge getting to know you. Like you seem like you're the kind of person who already has such a beautiful life and already has a beautiful lifestyle, and you're not like this empty vessel waiting for someone to come in and fulfill you, you know? You're not just sitting around waiting and hoping and praying that you get some attention or something. You feel like you are already living your best life, or you already have a lot going for you. And so I think a lot of people, they feel like they really have to bring their A game in order to get on your good side. Then we have Mercury, which rules over Gemini and Virgo. So with Mercury, highly intelligent, and I've been picking up on this Mercury vibe for you throughout the reading. You just seem so smart. And I think what's great about hanging out with Mercury dominant people is they often have the most interesting things to say. They tend to think a lot about a million different subjects. So they often are into a million different things. Maybe they're reading multiple books or watching multiple TV shows. Generally speaking, someone with a dominant Mercury, like a Gemini or a Virgo, or Mercury in the first house, Mercury conjunct the sun, ascendant, moon, anything like that, is going to be someone who is going to probably have a million tabs open on their computer, be reading about like 10 different subjects. If they're reading books, they may be reading more than one book, or they just read books super fast, but they're always learning, they're always growing their knowledge. They're like obsessed with learning. They love to broaden their horizons. They love to open their mind. So you never have to worry about talking to a Mercury person and they're just like boring and they're just kind of like stuck on the same thing, rewatching the same old TV show that they've watched 10 times. They're always wanting to learn more. They're so hungry for knowledge. And again, I feel like people's conversations with you make you even more attractive. There's just something really beautiful about the hunger you have and for knowledge and the way that you know so much. I feel like people just think of you as almost like a little encyclopedia, or just someone that always has interesting things to say. And that comes through with this Virgo as well. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, but Virgo also is the surgeon. It's also got that selfless caregiving energy that we see with like Cancer as well, where Virgo loves to take care of their partner. Virgo loves to take care of their loved ones. They love to try to fix and help people in whatever way they can. And I feel like the selfless vibe you give off, where you seem like you really prioritize a lot of, I don't want to say prioritize others over yourself, but it feels like you're very selfless and you're always looking to try to help people, or noticing when someone's in a bad mood, noticing when someone's upset, then I think that's really attractive to people. Also, Virgo is a perfectionist. Virgo is not the energy of someone who's going to be walking around and like a super old t-shirt with like a giant mustard stain from the day before and they kind of smell bad, and like that's just not Virgo. And if a Virgo is doing that, they're going through something, so Virgos tend to be perfectionists and they tend to like to do things really well. And that efficiency and the fact that they just manage things in a good way, I think is also something very attractive about Virgo. So I think with your energy, you're, like I said, giving me like Rory Gilmore vibes. She seems like such a kind of perfectionist in a way. And like she just knows how to do things right. Like when everyone else was, um, kind of being disasters in high school, Rory just always had her hair looking perfect. She's so pretty and she was always doing great in school. And I feel like you just give off that vibe, of someone that really manages things well. So, yeah, I would think you'd have a lot of suitors. And again, I think your hair is something people find beautiful, your skin. I also think your eyes is something on a physical level that a lot of people find beautiful, and your hands and your movements. But I think it's also a lot deeper than that. It is your energy and it is this beautiful intellectual vibe you give off. I think so many people are intrigued with you, Pile One, and they would love to get to know you more. So, I think that's what I have for you guys. Pile one, I hope it resonates. If it does, please let me know. You know how much I love reading your comments. I love reading your stories. So if you felt like this resonated, drop it in the comments. I love to read them. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. All of that really helps the channel. And if you want to see more of my stuff, then head to my Patreon where I just posted an early dating love reading. So if you just started dating someone, it's a great reading to tune into to see what they're thinking, what's going on in their head, and how they're feeling towards you. And new readings go up all the time. We just finished voting, but you can still enter in for our next poll for our next reading that we're going to be doing over there. So if you'd like to still enter, there's still time to select the reading we'll do next. But when you sign up for my Patreon, you'll get access to over 60 additional readings about all different kinds of subjects. So if you'd like to join me over there, I would love to have you, and the link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. And if you want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I am sending you lots of love. I'll be back again soon with another reading. Take care, guys, and I'll see you then. Bye. Hey, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So let's start with your oracle cards. You guys got the Dragon's Duel, the Phoenix, the Arrow Master, and the Chess Queen. So I am seeing the color red around you guys. I don't know if some of you guys have red hair or you might wear red lipstick or something like that, but I feel like it's also symbolic of your vibe, this kind of fiery, feisty, passionate feeling that I'm getting from this pile. Feels like a lot of you guys are hard to get, or maybe you're just someone who stays really busy and is very active, but there's something about you that I feel like is like a spicy salsa or something like that, like a little bit of heat and passion and fire. And I feel like a lot of people are very invigorated, excited by you. I'm also seeing some beautiful lips. So for a lot of you guys, people find your lips to be very, very beautiful, as well as your jawline, chin area to be very, very beautiful. But I also feel like it is that energy that you give off where you genuinely seem hard to get, or you seem kind of hard to please. And I actually think that's a good thing, because people see pleasing you as a bit of a challenge. It's not something that's going to come easily. And I feel like the people who are attracted to you, they don't even want that kind of a person. They don't want to get with someone who's easy to please, or someone who, doesn't take any work on their end. They kind of like the fact that you keep them on their toes and you keep them like, having to run around and do stuff for you a little bit. So yeah, I feel like there's something about you that kind of makes people invigorated. Like it's like an energy drink. You're like the energy drink kind of a person. You know what I mean? The human equivalent of like some Red Bull or something like that. I know that's weird. Or a cup of coffee. Like I feel like there's just this rush of passion, energy, and also people imagining that you guys are really, really good in bed because of that. I don't know if this pile is a fire sign dominant. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of Aries, Leo, Sagittariuses in this pile, or those placements, dominant placements with this pile, but I feel like being with you, it's like a challenge and someone's never bored, it's never easy, it's never predictable, and you keep people on their toes. But let's talk about your cards a little bit. So we have strong fire energy here with this Phoenix card, which literally shows someone or a bird rising from the ashes and being reborn as the Phoenix. Then we have Dragon's Duel, Arrow Master, the Chess Queen. So again, I feel like there's a very challenging energy coming in here. Some of you guys might literally like to kind of debate or argue with people that you're flirting with. Maybe that's your way of flirting, is kind of like being a little feisty and poking at them or saying something kind of like not mean, but maybe you're the type of person that like accidentally when you're flirting, you're like, oh, well, that outfit looks kind of bad or something like that. I don't know. And it's bringing to my mind Aries Venus. And if you look up Aries Venus, it's kind of crazy how many sex symbols have those placements. Like, for example, probably the top three sex symbols of the last century were Elizabeth Taylor, Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn, right? The great beauties, all Aries Venus. And that is not an anomaly. If you look up Aries Venus, it's just crazy. And I've been wondering why that's such a sex symbol placement. And I think a lot of that is because a lot of men do like that feistiness. Aries Venus is feisty. Rihanna's an Aries Venus. She's a great example of a modern one. Lady Gaga is. And they kind of have that like feisty quality. They just don't seem like an easy, docile person to deal with. And I feel like that's actually very common. Kind of, even though people may not put that out there, they like the fact that someone will challenge them. They like the fact that you guys keep it interesting, spicy. They don't know what to expect. It's kind of like if you have the same meal every day. Like other people may be like a little bowl of plain oatmeal, and you guys are like a little fiery salsa quesadilla, like your mouth is burning afterwards, but you kind of love it. And it's always a different dish every single day kind of vibe. So yeah, I think with people, you kind of get in people's heads and they tend to think on you a lot and be like, I can't believe she said that to me, or I can't believe he did that. And yeah, that kind of challenging vibe you give off is actually something that I think people are really drawn to and find very beautiful about you. Let's get into some more cards. So we got the Six of Wands. We got the Seven of Swords, Knight of Swords, the Hanged Man, the Nine of Swords, and the Page of Swords. So again, I don't know if you guys are really good with your words. They might also find literally your mouth to be very beautiful when you speak. Your lips, the way they move, the way your teeth and mouth and that whole part of your face moves when you're speaking might be something they find very attractive. And I'm feeling like your eyes also get very fiery. Like if you disagree or if there's something that annoys you about what someone is saying, your eyes might literally flash and have this like burst of color or something like that. I feel that people are very attracted to that feistiness. Also, your eyelashes. I don't know if some of you guys use something cool with your eyelashes, but I am seeing eyelashes, or you might have really long natural eyelashes or something. But yeah, I feel like there's just so much challenge about you. You just don't seem like that kind of partner that would be easy to deal with. It feels like you would always have something very different and unpredictable about what you're doing. With the Six of Wands, a lot of people would love to be on your social media, or they think that you take really beautiful photos on your social media. So they find you very beautiful on your Instagram or on TikTok or whatever platform you use, Snapchat. They find it very attractive and they might literally stare and look at your photos and kind of think about you. They also, I think, like the idea of the life you're living. Some of you guys just seem like you would be the life of the party. Like it would never be dull, never be dry with you. And you would be that kind of person who would, you know, always have something going on, always be busy, always have a little bit of a plan for the day or a schedule or things you're doing. And you feel very like booked and busy, or a lot of people imagine that about you, that you would just be hard to kind of get a hold of and always doing one thing or another. So I feel like people are very intrigued by that. And they definitely like the idea of being on your social media and being able to prove to everyone else that you guys are together. Because I do feel like there's a little bit of sense of you dating other people, or people being nervous about you getting to you know, you having a lot of romantic suitors, you having a lot of romantic options, and kind of like people wanting to claim you or mark their territory a little bit. Like, I do feel like you bring out that competitive side in others. You make people who wouldn't normally be competitive at all kind of start sweating and being like, I wonder what she's up to. Like, maybe someone's like, I'm not the jealous type, oh, I never get jealous, and then they date you and then they find themselves like checking your location, or checking your Instagram stories constantly and refreshing and trying to see what you're up to, like checking your friends' Instagram stories, so you might really bring out that kind of crazy passionate side in people where normally that wouldn't be what they would do. Then we have the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords. These are both very strong communication cards. And like I said, it may literally have to do with the way you move your mouth when you speak, just the way your lips, your tongue, your mouth moves in general. People may imagine you to be a really amazing kisser for that reason as well. I'm feeling like people just get mesmerized by your lips, like they could just stare at them all day long. Also, like I said, that whole jaw, chin area, like that lower half of the face, I feel like people find very attractive. But I also feel like it's the way you talk about things. You don't feel to me like you would be a boring talker, or people would be talking to you and you'd be like, yeah, it was fine. Yeah, I had fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It feels like you would be that person who would be like, oh my gosh, it was the best day ever. And then we got really mad because honestly, they didn't give us blah, blah, blah. And we had paid for this. So I marched over and I told him, you know what I mean? You just seem like you would have interesting stories, interesting things to say, and you would be passionate about whatever. Whatever you would talk about, you would find a way to make it interesting. Like, you make things interesting just by your presence, just by your being there. You automatically are going to find something interesting about it. So it's like people could just listen to you talk all day. And I do feel like for that reason, some of you guys might attract introverts or people who aren't that extroverted, because they love the kind of different spice you add to things. They love the way that you could take a boring, dull situation and make it into something interesting and enlivening and just very different. So, yeah, I feel like for some people, you're not even like their usual type. We got the Hanged Man. So maybe usually they don't date people like you. You might be the kind of person where, I don't know, they're like I was picking up on at the beginning, red hair, which if you don't have that, that's fine. But I am seeing the color red around you guys. But I know red hair is very uncommon, natural red hair. So maybe someone's like, oh, I never dated a redhead before. I'm not usually, like, I never knew I was super attracted to redheads, but your hair is so beautiful. I'm like obsessed with it. Something like that. Or maybe they've never dated someone from your cultural background, or maybe they've never dated someone, I don't know, with your vibe, your energy. I feel like you constantly take people by surprise. Like, they are surprised by how attracted they are to you, or they are surprised, maybe like I said, if you have a feisty or demanding personality, maybe they would say things like, well, I would never like simp for a girl, and if she said, I needed to bring her dinner right now, I would never be the one to do that. But then they find themselves like running to get the dinner as soon as you said you were hungry. You know what I mean? So I feel like people are constantly like, oh, okay, I'm discovering new parts of myself with pile number 2. Like, pile 2 has me doing stuff that I would never do before. And it's kind of fun for them as well, that discovery process of like, oh, okay, so I have this side to me. I didn't notice this before. Or maybe even something like they wouldn't usually dance, and then you pull them out on the dance floor, and then they have so much fun and they realize that it's fun, and they realize that they actually enjoy that. I also feel like for you, like, you really are a stunner. Physically, you're very attractive. And so again, there's a lot of pride with just being able to be out with you in public. I'm also feeling that the way you move your body is very beautiful, very attractive. Possibly your hips, if some of you guys have prominent hips, or something about the way you move your hips. But I'm feeling hips is also a beauty point, and possibly for some of you guys, your butt. So if you have a really cute butt or a big butt or something like that, they really like that as well. But yeah, I think that they are very proud to be seen with you. I feel like they love to like hold your hand in public. I feel like a lot of people fantasize about this. The people that have crushes on you, it's not just like they're like, oh, like pile 2's really pretty, but I just want to like hold their hands and sit on the couch or in bed, or just be with them. It's like they're like, I want everyone to see us together. I want to be in public. I want to be at like the state fair and walking around, or I want to be at a concert and like ideally be pulled on stage with them, and just I want everyone to know. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just fantasizing about getting to be with you. They literally fantasize about others seeing you guys together, because I think you guys make that kind of an impression, and they're just so proud. Being with you is like a prize. Let me get into some song cards. So what kind of songs sum up the vibe for pile number 2, Spirit, and what makes them beautiful? So we got Ocean Eyes, Billie Eilish. So some of you guys might have really beautiful eyes. And we also got One Track Mind, Chromeo. And again, as I mentioned with your eyes, I feel like especially there's like a flash of color in them, or there's just this passion, heat in them when you get upset, or when you're talking about something you're passionate about, something you care about, something you like feel strongly about. I feel like you really would just sparks would fly in your eyes. Like, you just have that, how sometimes people get passionate and you can just see them come alive. I feel like you guys definitely do that, and it doesn't even take much. Like, it could be something like you being like, oh my god, I had the best avocado yesterday, it was so good, it was so creamy and so rich. But the way you talk about it, it's like so much more passionate than the average person who would be like, yeah, had an avocado, it was good, but you're like, ah, it was amazing, it was so tasty. So One Track Mind, Chromeo, again, a lot of people's attraction to you is very intense, and it is very sexual. I feel like people feel very passionate for you. They definitely, it's not just like, oh, they're beautiful. Oh, wow, they're really pretty. It's like, they're beautiful and I want to do this to them. I'm not going to get into that because, this is a YouTube video. But I feel like they definitely have a lot of like, yeah, it's very passionate fantasies when it comes to you. I can say that. Like, it's like their imagination runs wild with you, because I think you give off that vibe, or a lot of people think you'd be really good in bed or something like that. We got instant crush. So a lot of people, as soon as they see you, they're like, wow, pile 2, oh my god, they're gorgeous. Just the look of them, just their face, their body, it's immediate. It's not something where you have to like grow on them and they have to like wait and see if they like you, or they get to know you and your personality, and then they're like, oh yeah, okay, no, I think they're cute. It's like immediately yes, immediately attraction. We also got All Is Full of Love, Bjork. So I also feel like even though you have this passionate, feisty vibe, you do give off the vibe of being very loyal and kind of like a ride or die. So I feel like you give off the vibe that if like your partner was in a fight, or if your partner was dealing with something, you would be right there, like battling for them, with them, beside them, and you would really lavish them with so much love. You would be the kind of person who would take on their enemies, or nurture them when they're having a bad day, get them some soup if they're feeling sick, maybe like hold them close to you and cuddle with them when they're had a rough day at work. A lot of people just imagine that you would be this amazing partner, and I feel like that really adds to your beauty, is the fact that because you are so passionate, you don't do things halfway. You don't kind of care. It's like you're either fully in or fully out. You're either like obsessed, in love, or you don't care that much. So I feel like, again, that's maybe where it brings out all this competitiveness with people, and they really want to kind of let everyone know that they're with you. Yeah, let me get into some of these astrology dice for pile number 2. So we got, wow, we got the nodes, we got Gemini, and we got the 11th house. So this is the south node, and then we got Gemini and Aquarius. Let me spin this one more time since I want to get another astrology sign. Oh my gosh. North node. Okay. Okay, I'll definitely read for the nodes, but maybe we can get a sign. Okay, Sagittarius. So we have Sagittarius, Gemini, and Aquarius. And then we all, of course, are going to talk about the nodes since we got that twice. So with the nodes, let's talk about that since it's obviously wanting to come through so strong. That is a very powerful past life connection, current life, since we got both the north and south nodes. So you might just give off a very strong destiny feeling to people. You may have been like a powerful leader in a past life, or a powerful figure, a public figure, someone who is like famous or even noteworthy, someone that may have like a Wikipedia page today, but you may give off that power or that energy of someone who's even been like a warrior in a past life, is what I'm feeling, or done something really strong, really powerful. And I feel like it's like a force of nature with you. You know, people can feel your energy, your presence when you walk into the room. They can feel this strength within you. And yeah, I feel like a lot of them may even imagine, like I said, a future with you, or imagine what it would be like to be your partner. Because again, I feel like you guys are so feisty with everyone that it's almost like, what would it be like to really be on their good side? What would it be like to have them be all lovey-dovey? Like, that would be amazing. That would be such a privilege. Well, let's talk about the other signs. We got Gemini. So Gemini is super curious about everything. Gemini tends to have a million interests, a million things that they're learning about or interested in. They know all the gossip. Some of you guys may know all the gossip, or you might have all the info, because I feel like another thing about Gemini is they tend to have a lot of friends. They tend to be very highly social. They tend to be extroverted and just, be willing to talk to anyone. They're very open about talking. They literally rule the third house. So again, I feel like there's something about how you talk, but it's also about your possibly really great social skills, and also about the knowledge you have, your intelligence, the fact that you are so knowledgeable about a million different things. You are really smart, you know what you're talking about, and I feel like you're also very curious. You're very alive. It's reminding me of how Jeff Bezos texted Lauren Sanchez and everyone was like clowning him for this, but it's actually kind of really romantic when you think of it. He kept calling her a live girl and everyone was like, what does a live girl mean? But if you think about it, you know how most people can just seem very like kind of, I don't want to say dead inside because that's depressing, but they just seem like they're going through the motions in life, or they don't really seem to care that much. And then if you think about people you've met that just seem so alive and they just seem like they feel everything and they care a lot and they're very passionate. I feel like you give off that vibe for sure. So you're kind of reminding me of that text, a live girl, to Lauren Sanchez. And I feel like that is kind of Gemini vibes. Gemini just is very like, kind of mischievous in that way as well. They're ruled by Mercury, which is a planet of mischief, and Gemini is the perfect person to talk to if you want gossip. If you want to start a little trouble, Gemini will definitely be there down to do that. Then we have the 11th house. 11th house is ruled by Aquarius, and Aquarius is a very intelligent sign. Yet again, you guys are very smart. 11th house rules the house of larger social circles and large groups. So again, I feel like some of you guys give off the vibe of being either kind of like famous or very well known in your group, having a certain social cachet. I feel like that makes you more attractive to a lot of people. And the thing about Aquarius is they're always going to be taking people by surprise. They're always going to be marching to the beat of their own drum and doing things differently. And I feel like that's another thing people find attractive about you and beautiful about you. Some of you guys have a really cool avant-garde sense of personal style. You might be very on top of the trends. The thing about Aquarius is they're not even trying to follow trends. They literally are the trend setter. So people with strong Aquarius placements, Aquarius sun, moon rising, or Aquarius Venus are going to be people that literally are just avant-garde by nature. They just will be wearing something 6 months before everyone else will, and then as soon as everyone starts wearing that, they're going to drop it. But they literally love to be different. They love to be unique, and I feel like you guys have that vibe of really sticking out from the crowd and being so different and being so unusual, and again, taking people by surprise. People never know quite how you're going to react to things or what you're going to say. So I feel like it's kind of a fun surprise talking about you with anything. Like they may expect you to be like really enthusiastic about something and then you're like, okay, that's mid to me, I don't care. Or the vice versa. They're like, oh, they're going to be really calm about this, and you like get so excited, either in a good or a bad way. So again, I feel like people love this kind of your rawness, surprising energy you have. Then we have Jupiter. Jupiter is ruled by Sag. Sag is also always loving to try new things, loving to explore, loving to do things different, and also loves to travel. So again, with this possibly being from a different culture or just someone that they haven't really dated before. You just seem so unique and unusual to a lot of people. And Sagittarius is a fire sign. Fire signs are so alive. Fire signs are so feisty and energetic, and they love to try new things. They love to explore. They love to just feel things. And, you know, if there's anyone you're thinking of like doing something kind of crazy and you want someone to agree to go on an adventure with you, definitely invite a fire sign. They'll probably say yes. So, yeah, I think for a lot of people, they find you so beautiful, not only because of your lips, your beautiful eyes that get all feisty when you're feeling passionately, get all fiery and more colorful and have little sparks of color in them. And also, I'm hearing your brows. For some of you guys might have attractive brows. I mentioned your eyelashes, and your lower face, your jaw, chin area, your hips, your butt. Those are the physical things coming to my mind. But also, I just feel like your passion, your joie de vivre, your kind of like energetic, I feel things so strongly type of vibe that you give off. I feel like you inspire other people to feel strongly too, to like get invested, to live life. And I feel like a lot of people are drawn to you for that reason. They think of you as a lot of fun and a little bit of a challenge, but a lot of people are up for that challenge. So I really hope that resonates, guys. If it did, let me know in the comments. You know how much I love hearing from you guys. So if this is you, please let me know. I'm always loving to read how it applied to you, and make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications. That always helps the channel. And if you want to see more of my content, head to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about early dating love. So if you just started dating someone, it's a really great reading to watch. And currently, you can still vote in our final little poll for the next reading, to select what we'll be talking about next over there. There's still time if you enter into it now. And as soon as you sign up for my Patreon, you'll get access to over 60 additional readings, and new ones go up all the time. So yeah, I would love to have you join us over there. And like I said, you will get access to lots and lots of readings as soon as you sign up. So I hope to see you there. And if you guys want to get a private reading with me, you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll see you guys again very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So let's start with your oracle cards you guys got: the Sacred Union, the Dream Walker, the Fire Prince, and the Cosmos. So the first thing I'm seeing in my mind is a nose. So I feel like a lot of you guys have a very striking, beautiful nose. It may be the shape of it or the size of it or something about your nose that I feel like a lot of people are attracted to, and that area around the nose, kind of like the cheeks and, you know, this whole area right underneath the eyes is what I'm seeing first off. Also, I'm hearing you guys have really beautiful coloring. So maybe the color of your skin just really complements the color of your hair, or you have a very nice glow to your skin, or your hair is just a really pretty color. But I feel like people love your coloring somehow. It's just very attractive to them. So I also feel like a lot of you guys give off a nurturing vibe, or there's something about you that really makes people think of like a long-term relationship. We got the Sacred Union card. So when it comes to your energy, I feel like a lot of your energy just feels like you would be a really amazing partner. Like people aren't just fantasizing about being with you for a one-night thing or a short-term thing, but you really feel like you would be that supportive, really loving partner that someone could be with for a really long time. I also feel like you guys have a very creative vibe. There's something about you where you're a really excellent conversationalist is what I'm hearing. And they may really also find your voice very beautiful, be attracted to your voice and the way you pronounce words. You might have a gentle tone, or just have a very melodious way of speaking where people could listen to you like read the phone book is what I'm hearing. But I also feel like you tend to speak about really interesting subjects. Like when you're talking, it's never boring. You're a very engaged conversationalist. You probably have excellent social skills, so you're not just gonna lecture someone and drone on about something they're not interested in, nor are you going to like not participate in the conversation and just let someone else do all the talking, but it feels like you're really good at that tennis match of conversation, saying things, then letting them say something, contributing interesting things, empathizing with them. So if they say, I'm stressed about this, being able to talk them through that and being like, empathetic and compassionate and not just brushing them off. But I feel like you're an excellent conversationalist, and this makes a lot of people fall in love with you, pile three. I feel like a lot of people have crushes on you and find you beautiful, and part of it is this kind of nurturing personality you have. A lot of people may literally feel like they're a lot closer to you than you would say. Maybe you think of them as just a friend or an acquaintance, but they consider you someone they're really close to, or you might have had a history of people thinking that you're, like romantically involved with them, and you're like, what are you talking about? Like, we're not, no, it's definitely not that. Like, you're literally just a friend, or not even a friend, just an acquaintance. And I feel like a lot of that is because you draw people in with your conversations. I'm hearing that there's also a lot of depth to your eyes. So your eyes may be a very beautiful color or have a lot of layers to them, a lot of depth, little points of light within your eyes, little sparkles within your eyes. And I feel like people could just stare into your eyes all day long and really get lost in them. And I feel like there's a lot of compassion, a lot of sweetness and empathy within your eyes. You just seem like someone who really cares about people, whereas most people are kind of selfish or wrapped up in themselves. You seem like someone who truly takes time out to relate to people and will go out of your way to actually relate and actually like engage with someone, not just, talking to them, but not really listening, but you're genuinely listening and hearing them, not just like kind of tuning them out like many people would. So I think for that reason, a lot of people truly think of you as like a wifey or a girlfriend, long-term potential, like just they kind of like catch feelings, even if you really don't think it's that deep or it's just supposedly a casual relationship. You've got people out here really feeling deeply about you, even if you're not reciprocating that. You also have a very creative vibe. And again, I think that loving kind of cups water energy that also comes with the creativity. So you're not just someone who I think is super regimented or feels like, you know, someone has to pull themselves off by their bootstraps and may be very uncompassionate, but I feel like you're really someone who truly would like stop to pet a little dog or give a homeless person money. There's just something very giving and loving about you that I think people really relate to. And again, I'm hearing listening to you talk is just something that is such a turn on for a lot of people, and they do think of you as someone who's highly creative, has an interesting sense of style. And I'm also hearing that the way you dress and carry yourself is also very beautiful to people. You might dress, if you're a woman, in a very feminine way, or if you're a man, you might dress in a way that's, kind of more creative or different, or like there's less of a hard edge around you guys, pile three. There's less of like a rigid structure around your energy fields. You feel much more warm, enveloping, and inviting. So I feel like however you dress, it may just kind of allow people to project fantasies on you. It may literally be very fantasy based. You may dress in a certain style that kind of has its roots in like a fantasy realm, like dark academia, light academia, cottagecore, those kinds of things that, kind of let people's imaginations run wild. But I feel like a lot of people think of you as quite artistic and just someone who's also really cool. I'm hearing I don't meet many people like you. So I feel like you really stick out. You're very unique. You're very much an individual, and that also adds to your beauty. Let's get into some tarot cards. So we got the Three of Wands, the Fool, the Five of Swords, the Page of Cups, Six of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, there's something about you that really is kind of like a caretaker energy. With the Queen of Pentacles, she is so dependable. She's very down to earth. She's very much someone who will keep track of everyone. You know, it's kind of that energy of like the mom before the road trip who's like checking like, okay, do we have the sandwiches? Did everyone make sure that they packed, you know, their games or whatever? And does everyone have sunscreen on? And make sure that you have your car pillow or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like going through and double checking. And I feel like that also adds to your attractiveness because people really feel like they can trust you and rely on you. You feel like a very safe place. Even if you're a guy, especially, you know how sometimes women can talk about not really feeling safe around certain people. And I feel like that's the great thing is women truly feel very safe around you. They feel like they can rely on you and depend on you. And if you're a woman, that is definitely true as well. I don't think men really feel as unsafe around women as we do around them. But, you know, sometimes you can feel unsafe emotionally around certain people, even if you don't feel like they could physically hurt you. Maybe you're nervous about saying something and them being judgmental, or the worst thing is when you're like confiding in someone about something that happened or something that was hurtful and they just brush it off, or they're like, oh, well, it's not a big deal. Like, that is such a pet peeve of mine as a Pisces and a Cancer. But yeah, I feel like you guys wouldn't ever do that. You would be that kind of person who would go out of your way to try to empathize, relate, and there's something very calm, relaxed, and like I said, just safe. Like if someone tells you that they're feeling insecure or tells you something they're nervous about, it feels like you would really give them the space. And so I feel like people just feel like you're that soft place to land, you know? They really look to you, and it's like even if someone was hurt in the past or they have a little bit of a hard shell up when it comes to like relationships, maybe they haven't dated in a while because they felt like, you know, people didn't understand them or they didn't feel like they could open up and trust anyone. You would be that kind of soft, it's almost giving me Cancer energy or mom energy. You would be that kind of soft person that they could turn to where they would be like, I really feel like actually pile three understands me. And even though I know I said I was never going to date again and I was done dating, like now I'm actually more open to that. I'm also hearing you guys have very bright eyes. There's something about your gaze that's very bright. I don't know if your eyes are a very vibrant color, but I feel like you just have a very bright look to your eyes. I don't know how else to describe it. Almost like some excitement. You might be someone who feels things really deeply. So if you're excited for something, you're going to show that excitement on your face. Or if you're in a bad mood, you're going to show that you're in a bad mood. There's also something kind of vulnerable about you guys that I also think people find really beautiful. So maybe there's something kind of soft, delicate about you, or something kind of, I don't know. I feel like you also bring out the urge in others to protect you. So, as much as they do feel like you have that Queen of Pentacles, like self reliance and efficiency and, you know, strength that she has, I also feel like there's something kind of soft and sweet. And maybe you guys get emotionally overwhelmed at times, or you just, like I said, feel things really deeply. But I do feel like you bring out a side in others where they truly want to look out for you, protect you. They may feel like you're too good for this kind of harsh world that we live in. So, yeah, I feel like there's something about you that's quite cute in that sense and very delicate, sweet, and soft, and something very dreamy. You really make people's imaginations run wild. Like, I feel like you almost feel like you could be a character from a book or a novel, something like that. And I also feel like people are very curious about you in general. Like, I feel like people, I know this is weird, but I feel like people would wonder about what you wear to bed, what you wear to sleep in, what your nighttime routine is, what your skincare routine is. Um, just something about you that really piques people's curiosity, especially because you seem very unique and unusual. There's something kind of quirky about you. So I feel like people think that, you know, you wouldn't be up to the usual schedule or routine, or that you might wear like some really cute pajamas instead of just whatever regular pajamas. You might wear like a little, I don't know, a pajama that looks like a bunny suit, or a pajama that is like covered in little strawberries, little strawberry prints, or something just cute about it, not just the regular, like, oh, this old t-shirt from my high school and a pair of shorts, but like something kind of unique, special, and cutesy. And I also feel like you're very attractive and beautiful when you get happy. When you're happy, you just give off this beautiful, happy go lucky vibe. I also feel like a lot of you guys in this pile probably look a lot younger than your age. You might look substantially younger or just have that very youthful, young vibe to you. Something about your appearance may look young. And also, I feel like you guys are always down for an adventure, and your eyes really light up if someone suggests something new, or if someone wants to do something kind of crazy. It's like you're the one to call, you'd be down. You're always wanting to try new things, explore new things, go new places. So, yeah, I think people are really drawn to you for that. Let's get into, ooh, well, actually, I was going to pull some song cards next, so let me do that. But I was going to mention also with the Fool, it tends to have a really active mind and just be always wanting to explore, always wanting to learn, always wanting to kind of try new things. It's a very brilliant card. So again, I feel like you'd be just a great conversationalist and just has a very active, creative mind. So some of you guys might make excellent writers, or just give off that writer vibe, that intellectual vibe, poet vibe. But yeah, I think that adds to your attractive beauty as well. So let's get into some more song cards. So we got Never Get You Right, Brandon Flowers. Okay, that is totally the kind of vulnerable vibe that I was picking up on with you guys. And so Brandon Flowers wrote this, I think, about his wife and about how people don't understand her, and kind of talking about traumas she'd gone through. So I feel like this is a very protective song. It's almost like when you love someone and you can see the pain that they've gone through, but it just makes you love them more. The more like vulnerable and soft, and like the more they need your help, the more you're drawn to them, the more you just want to wrap them up in a blanket and like hide them away from the mean people in this world. And I feel like you really bring out that protective instinct. There's something about you that just, maybe when you're sad or lost in thought or thinking about something, your face kind of like breaks or has that sad look for a moment or something. I feel like that really evokes people, that they want to like take away the pain in you, and it actually makes them more attracted to you, even though you may be like, oh, that's embarrassing, I don't want to show that. But no, it actually makes people like really want to like just take you away from any pain. I feel like they think of you as, again, like too good for this world, or you don't deserve any pain, you deserve only happiness. So it makes them sad, but draws them in whenever they see you not being happy. We also got There Is a Light That Never Goes Out, The Smiths. I think The Smiths is a very prototypical kind of like artistic art girl, art boy vibe band. So I feel like you guys give off that vibe of like an artistic person, art girl, writer girl, poet, that kind of a thing. Someone who, would maybe walk around and have a little paint on their clothes, or be writing a novel in their free time, or be journaling all the time and scribbling down poems. Something that I think makes you attractive, because you seem like you live in a world of your own. You're not just like focused on the moment. You're not just like paying attention to whatever party is happening on the weekend. You're very smart. There's a lot going on underneath the surface. There's a lot of complexity to you. We also got I've Got You Under My Skin, Frank Sinatra. So again, I feel like a lot of people, they kind of get that kick out of you. They can't get you out of their mind. They can't get you out of their head. And also, again, I mentioned earlier, your skin being very beautiful on a physical level. I feel like your skin, and possibly the way your cheeks look when they're flushed or when you're blushing, the little, pink flush you might get, or red flush, I feel like is very attractive. And I'm seeing someone being like out of breath, breathless, and like, how like your lips get pinker or your cheeks get pinker, and you just kind of like, maybe you look a little disheveled. That might be a moment people have seen you where they think of you as very attractive. You don't seem like someone who's super type A. Like even that disheveled look, maybe sometimes you walk around like you haven't brushed your hair, or you just threw on an outfit. But I feel like that in a way makes you more attractive because you seem very effortless. You kind of seem like there's a bit of naturalism to you. You know, there's a bit of, like I said, effortless, not trying, not over the top, like wanting attention, but you seem kind of lost in your own world, lost in your head. Maybe you're thinking about that novel you're writing or something. I don't know. But you do seem like you're here, but you're kind of up on the astral plane, up, lost in your imagination, lost in your thoughts. And also, it bears mentioning that, like I was saying, the Smiths seem like a very artistic band, or they're a big, famous archetypal indie rock band, very iconic. And I feel like for you guys, people think also that you have a cool sense of music, a cool sense of style, cool sense of fashion, and that you'd probably be into really cool, you'd have cool tastes. You would be like aware of the Smiths, or you would listen to, I don't know, the Velvet Underground or something like that. You wouldn't just be listening to whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with it. We all know I love top 40 and Taylor Swift, but there's room for both. And I feel like you guys probably seem like you're into just some really cool choices. We got Harmony Hall, Vampire Weekend. Okay, that's also kind of the same vibe. And I am feeling like a Twilight vibe for some of you guys as well with Vampire Weekend. I don't know if you guys are into Twilight, or not even just Twilight, but other genres like that, or, movies, books that just take you to another world, and are very immersive. Yeah, like that vibe of Twilight. I always think it's such a vibe, the like dark lighting and the evergreen forests and the dark, atmospheric vibe. Yeah, I feel like you come off like you're kind of like that fantasy type person. You know what I mean? And then we got So Happy I Could Die, Lady Gaga. So again, people love when you look happy. There's something about you when you're like happy and joyful. It's kind of very cute. It's bringing to my mind the phrase kawaii from Japan, like cute. I feel like there's something just cute and sweet and kind of, like I said, younger about your energy. Let's get into kind of like how a little kid gets so excited when they're happy. Let's get into some astrology dice for Pilot. Oh, okay, so I'm going to spin this again since it was like hopelessly on the floor. Venus. Okay, perfect. So we got Libra, so that's double Venus. And then we got the third house. Let me spin this again since I generally don't like doubles. Okay, so we got Mars, we got Libra, and we got the third house. So let's start out with Venus, Libra, since we got that twice. I definitely see that very strong Venus energy around you. Venus loves all things beautiful. It literally rules over beauty. So I do think you guys are just very beautiful. And if you wear glasses, I'm hearing that's also something very attractive about you. If you ever are wearing glasses, I feel like it's just a very attractive look on you. I feel like they're like, again, it adds to that kind of bookish vibe that you guys give off. But going back to Libra, literally, it's a beautiful, graceful energy. It's an energy that's very giving, loving, diplomatic, supportive. And with Libra specifically, it's in an air sign. So it's also got that intellectual vibe to it. And you guys also got Venus, just straight up Venus. So I feel like overall, there is something just beautiful about you. And Venus also has such an eye for beauty. So it isn't just beautiful itself, it also has an eye for beauty in others. So again, I feel like how you dress, how you adorn yourself is probably very beautiful and adds to your overall vibe. Again, I'm seeing that beautiful nose that some of you guys do have. With the third house, Gemini, that is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury really loves to learn about everything. They're curious, they're relentlessly educating themselves, and Gemini is so amazing at conversation. Gemini can talk to literally anyone. They know so much about so many different subjects. They're also great writers. And so again, I feel like your communication, the way you speak, the empathetic vibe you give off is also highly attractive to people, and is something that people just think about a lot with you. Like the conversations, the things you say just really stay in people's heads. It might change their opinions about things, but you're just a really great speaker, and talking to you is a pleasure. So people may literally imagine what it would be like to be on a date with you. They may just think that if they got to like spend an afternoon with you, you would just make such a great conversation partner, and time would just fly past because you're just really good at talking to people. Then we also have Mars. And again, Mars is that excitement, that energetic vibe, that burst of fire energy. And I feel like you guys get that little spark whenever you get excited about something, whenever you're, wanting to do something new or something has delighted you, you just light up, your eyes light up, your energy field just bursts into, burst into action. And I feel like there's something about you that it's really invigorating. Being around you literally gives people a little dose of energy. And that's when they want to protect you. They want to look out for you. They think of you as kind of having that energy, like I have been saying, as a little kid, when a little kid gets excited and starts jumping up and down or something, you kind of give off that vibe. So yeah, I think that's what I have for you guys. Pile 3, I really hope it resonated. If it did, let me know in the comments. You know how much I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing your thoughts and your stories. So let me know what you think. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications. That really helps the channel. And if you want to see more of my content, head to my Patreon. I just posted an early love relationship reading. So it's perfect for if you just started dating someone and you want to know what they're thinking and feeling for you. We get into it over there. And there's still time for you to enter into our little poll to select the next reading we're going to do. So if you sign up now, you can enter in and help decide what we talk about next. But as soon as you sign up for Patreon, you'll get access to all my additional readings, so over 60 additional readings. And like I said, you get to suggest topics. It's very interactive. So if you would like to join, head to my Patreon. The link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments, in the description. And if you'd like to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. So thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll see you guys again very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, Pile 4, welcome to your reading. So let's start with your oracle cards. You guys got the Hungry Ghost, the Shadow Queen, the River Queen, and the Diamond Dreamer. So the first thing I'm hearing is how good you guys smell. You guys have a beautiful natural scent, maybe your natural pheromones or something like that. I also feel like some of you guys could wear a perfume or like a body lotion or just a shower gel, but whatever it is, it smells amazing and people are super drawn to this. But I feel like that's not the only thing you really take good care of. I feel like you take good care of yourself in general. This is another thing that really brings out your beauty. People think of you as someone who probably doesn't just smell good, but is like perfectly polished from head to toe. They may assume that you go to like the very best salon or that you would always have your nails done perfectly, like a pedicure inside your shoes, I feel like there is a vibe with you of really having the best of the best. And like I said, being very well taken care of. Also, your hair color. A lot of you guys have a really beautiful hair color, and your hair is kind of like your crowning glory. It's something that is very beautiful that a lot of people notice about you. And I do feel like your face overall, you have really amazing bone structure. I'm hearing prominent cheeks or maybe prominent cheekbones, but I feel like the structure of your face is just really beautiful. And you might be one of those faces that just has a very visible structure. You know how sometimes someone has a baby face or they have kind of like puffier cheeks? That would be me. So I'm not attacking anyone. I kind of have that vibe, but and you can't see as much of their actual bones. I feel like you guys have like a very strong bone structure. And so people can actually see like the shape of your cheeks and your nose. And, it might be quite striking or really stick out to people, your actual bone structure. And they find that to be very, very beautiful. Or you have a prominent chin or something like that. But I feel like your bone structure is quite striking to most people. I also feel like you guys just have a lot of natural energy, or you kind of have a go-getter vibe about you that people find very interesting and very mysterious, and kind of like they're curious about it. They want to kind of figure you out. Like there's something about you that it's kind of like they can't get enough of it. They can't quite put their finger on you in some way. So yeah, I feel like there's something about you that is quite motivated, quite invigorating, very energized, and people kind of wonder if they can keep up with you or not. They kind of feel like you aren't playing hard to get. You really are hard to get. They might feel like you have a very booked schedule, and that energy that you give off, I feel, is very attractive. You're kind of like a little shot of espresso or a little sip of a Monster energy drink or something like that. But it's kind of like, how am I going to keep up with pile number four? You just seem like someone who has a million different hobbies, a million different interests, and are very much alive and invigorated and living your best life. So I feel like people, they kind of wonder if they could actually keep up with you. They might question if they are cool enough to like hang out with you, because you seem like the kind of person who doesn't really suffer fools. Like if someone is not really your vibe, or if someone is kind of like lagging or low energy, you might be literally like, I don't want to be around them. I don't want to hang out with them. People may also project on you that you have a very active social life or a booked social calendar, and that you're always off doing a million different things. There's also something about your body that people find quite attractive. Some of you guys may regularly like go to the gym or something like that. Others of you may be curvy, some of you guys may be skinny, but your body is something that's coming through very strongly as something that people are very attracted to. They find it very sexy. They find the lines of your body, your build, to be very, very attractive. And it's something that I think people really think about, like just your physical form when you're walking away, or when you're dancing, or when you're just standing in your clothes, minding your own business, is very striking and very attractive, and really sticks out as like, wow, that person was genetically blessed, or maybe they're just working hard for that body, but either way, they are looking freaking good. So people definitely notice your form and also the way you carry yourself. I feel like a lot of you guys have some confidence, you have this zest for life that not everyone has. There's something about you that's kind of, I want to say loud, but not in a bad way, in a good way. Like your energy is loud and vibrant and passionate and strong. And yeah, I think you really intrigue people with that. And they definitely may be a little intimidated. Some people may be very drawn to you and find this very beautiful about you, but they may not be sure if they can hang, or if they're good enough to kind of like have you let them have you led them into your life. Let's get into some tarot cards. So we got the Knight of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, the Sun. That fits you guys so strong. Okay. The Nine of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the King of Swords. I love this. Such a go-getter energy throughout this pile. The Knight of Pentacles, Two of Wands, the Sun, the King of Swords, Knight of Wands. Wow. So there's strong fire energy. Some of you guys may be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but I feel like you seem like that kind of person who could run a business, or, if you were a stay-at-home mom, you'd become the PTA president. You may even have like ADHD or have trouble sitting still. You seem like you would have a big friend group, a million things to do, a million invitations, and you could handle them all very gracefully. People also think of you as like a go-getter, someone who does a lot, someone who's probably very trustworthy. If you ask them like, oh, can you drop off this, paper at the post office or something, that you would actually do it. And that's a lot more than can be said for most people. I mean, I'm a Pisces. You probably wouldn't want to trust us Pisces with most of those kind of tasks. So, you may be like, well, that sounds like the bare minimum. No, a lot of people can't, get things done the way you guys do. I feel like you are just that type, that you have that energy. You're gonna get something done. If you put your mind to it, you will make it happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So I feel like in a way, people also think that being with you, it would be like, I don't want to say a come up, but for sure you're someone who probably would have the best of the best in life. And there is a very bougie quality about you that I think people also find attractive. So they may assume that you're wearing expensive clothes, even if you got them from Shine, Shein, whatever you say it. And they may assume that, like I said, you're wearing the most expensive makeup, even if it's just drugstore brands. But there's something about you that just seems very well put together and kind of like well mannered. And like you have a, very strong presence. Like you just seem like someone who would have some money or have spent a lot of money on themselves or be kind of bougie or pampered in some way, very well taken care of and looked after. People may assume that like from head to toe, you smell good, you look good, you'd be that kind of person who's like doing face masks and putting a sugar scrub on their legs so they're extra smooth and then putting on some like glitter lotion. But there's something about you that just people assume that you really are kind of like, it's giving me princess vibes, or if you're a guy, of course, prince vibes. You can just change the little gender around. But yeah, you seem like you're just well taken care of, and also like you really make an effort to do that. Like you put an effort in things. That's actually a good description of you in general, whereas other people may be like, oh, I just want to lay around and just not do anything. Whenever we have that sun energy, it's going to be someone who's excited, invigorated, willing to take things on, and has no problem signing up for something that may be a little bit challenging or maybe a little bit difficult. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, they feel like you might not even be someone who requires a lot of sleep. You may be someone who's like, oh yeah, I can be up after a few hours, or I'm going to wake up early or whatever. And they may assume that you have a really great fitness routine, that you spend time in the gym. Even if you don't, you just seem like that kind of go-getter type. And they also may assume that you have a friend group that's very active, or a booked calendar in that way. They also may assume, or they may have fantasies of like traveling with you, going to new places. You also seem like the life of the party. And I think that's another attractive thing. You have a very strong social vibe about you that's attractive. You seem very competent. You seem very confident. Like if someone plucked you up and forced you to go hang out with people you had never met before in a totally different social group, people that you had never seen and maybe very different from you, you would be able to handle yourself. You would be able to handle the vibe. And there's also something very spicy, passionate about you. People are assuming that you're very good in bed. They find you beautiful, and they would assume you have a beautiful body in bed, and also that you would just be really good in bed. And also, I feel like they assume that you're like a hard driver when it comes to like deals, You wouldn't be that person who would be like trying to negotiate for a new car and be like, end up leaving the lot paying twice as much. Like you would actually be that person who talked them down to like the ideal price, or, got the best offer. There's something about you that's kind of like tough, or kind of a lot to reckon with. Like you're kind of that feisty. It's giving me a vibe of like a feisty Southern girl. Of course, you don't actually have to be feisty, but I spent some time in the South, and like the women down there, it's like, even though they're also sweet looking, it's like if you step out of line, they will put you back in place. You know what I mean? And they do it really well though. They have like good social skills. So it's kind of like they'll do it with a smile, kind of like that bless your heart is actually an insult, but they have the social skills and the vibe right, so you don't even notice when they're doing it, and you can't even be mad at them. They have that level of charisma. I feel like a lot of you guys have a really strong, high level of charisma. People may also assume that you only date people who have money, or that you would only engage with people who have money in some way, and that you have a lot of suitors who want to date you, that you have a lot of offers and people who want to be with you. I'm hearing you would be like a great trophy wife, trophy husband. You are like, just give off the vibe of being like high status, or someone who's like extremely high level of beauty, so that people would be super proud to show you off. Let's get into some song cards for pile number 4. What song cards can we get to sum up the vibe for pile 4, spirits? So we got, okay, All is Full of Love, Bjork. Let's see what else we're gonna get. Emotion, Bee Gees. And I do feel like you guys are very highly emotional. You seem like someone who, would tell someone off if they are doing the wrong thing. There's also something kind of quite earthy about you. Even though you may smell good, you also may be that kind of like down to earth type of person that, you would be okay going camping, or you would be okay out in the country, like in a wildflower field. There's something kind of like earthy and nice and not humble about you, but I feel like it's like that phrase, get you someone who can do both. You know, you kind of can vibe with a lot of different situations. You know, you're very competent about handling life. So even though you may prefer the bougie scene, like you could also probably fend for yourself if someone dropped you off in the middle of the desert. You know, you'd find a way to figure it out. You'd be that great person that if someone was stranded on a desert island, you'd be a great person to be stranded with. Um, but yeah, I feel like with All Is Full of Love as well, you probably also come off like someone who would really dote on your loved ones. You would really maybe spoil your partner and you would expect them to spoil you back. But I feel like when you love big, you love really big. Like you are passionate, you really care. You wouldn't do it halfway. So people can sense this very strong energy about you. Another thing about the sun card is the sun attracts attention. The sun is naturally the center of attention, right? That's why all the planets rotate around the sun. So you might have that sunny vibe. If you know, have paler skin, it might have like a tan vibe to it, or you might have bright blonde hair that literally looks like the sun and glistens like the sun. And if you have darker skin, it may just be that you have that kind of luminous sun quality where it's just exuding sun energy and, you know, a little bit of sparkle to it. But either way, I feel like you guys definitely can be the center of attention to any room you walk into, and your vibe, the fashion you wear, your aesthetic is definitely a huge part of that. Let's get into some more cards for pile number 4. So we got Turn to White, She and Him. Okay. You guys might look really beautiful in the color white. And the only exception, Paramore. And let's get one more. Sunflower. Oh my God, that is so funny. I wish you guys could see me picking these cards because I did not know that. I didn't pick that on purpose. I can't see the words on them. But yeah, there's a strong sun energy coming out with you guys. And the sun is, you know, very playful, very lively, very vibrant. It shines so bright. It's the center of attention of any room it walks into. And again, that we have a lot of flower energy. I am seeing a beautiful field of flowers and kind of like the earthy naturalness of this. I feel like there's something very natural about you, even if you are someone who's bougie and you like to have your nails done, hair done, everything. But there's something very kind of down home about you. You know what I mean? Like I said, the nice looking lady at the church luncheon in Alabama who has her hair done perfectly and she just got back from the nail salon, nails done, everything, but she'll sit down and talk with you about your problems. She'll talk to anyone. She'll be so sweet and open, even if she is wearing a really nice expensive designer purse. You know what I mean? I feel like you guys give off that vibe. You give off someone who truly is very honest as well, like a straight shooter, tells it like it is, doesn't beat around the bush. And I feel like, yeah, being with you, you just seem very powerful. You seem very physically strong as well. There's like a hardiness to you, a robustness. You may be in really good health. I always think health is such a marker of beauty. A lot of the things we're attracted to are just like markers of health. And you just seem very healthy. You might have very healthy hair, healthy skin, healthy nails, but you just seem like someone who's powerful, strong, vibrant, and comes in with a ton of energy. Let's get into some, oh my goodness. That bounced, but I caught it. Okay. Off to a great start. Anyway, let's get some astrology dice for pile number 4. Okay, we got the North Node, the 8th house, Scorpio, and Capricorn. Let's spin this one more time since I love the nodes, but I want a sign. Okay. We also got Neptune. So we got Pisces, Scorpio, and Capricorn energy coming through. Let's start off with Capricorn, the earth sign. So Capricorn is the go-getter, and this sums you guys up really well. Capricorn also rules the 8th house, which is the house of public honors, reputation. I feel like you guys may have a strong reputation in your community or something, and this adds to your beauty as well. It's like being seen with you would be a flex. You'd probably be stopping to talk to like everyone in town, you know, like everyone at the restaurant knows you or something like that. But again, I feel like being with you would be kind of a prize or a trophy, as I mentioned earlier. So that adds to your appeal. Also, Capricorn is that go-getter. Mars is exalted in Capricorn because because Capricorn will never give up on something. Once they put their mind on something, they are gonna make it happen. And it doesn't matter what you throw at them, what kind of obstacles you give them, the mountain goat is always gonna climb up that mountain. And that definitely is your vibe as well. You just feel like, no matter what someone tries to dissuade you from, once you get a bee in your bonnet and you get something under your skin, you're gonna do it. You're gonna make it happen. So I feel like people who are drawn to you, people who find you beautiful, they also really respect you. They respect how you carry yourself. They have no doubt that you are a force to be reckoned with. And like I said, once you put your mind on something, it's just a matter of time before it happens. With the 8th house Scorpio energy, the 8th house and Scorpio rule over sexuality. It's also ruled by Pluto. Pluto is like a private investigator type of energy. And I feel like you are that person that you have a great BS detector. Like you could tell if someone was lying to you. You could tell if someone isn't telling the truth. And also back to what I was saying, but Scorpio does rule over sexuality. I feel like you have a very strong, passionate sexual vibe, kind of. And to me, it's like that sensuality, not just being about, sex, but also about all the good things in life, good food, good, a good time. With that 9 of Cups, again, you seem like someone who would be someone who's a lot of fun to drink with, a lot of fun to go to a dinner party with, a lot of fun to have dinner with. Maybe you'd be ordering like extra guac or an extra plate for the table or making sure we get dessert. But there's something about you that's kind of fun and enlivening and like sensual, because that's kind of a passionate thing, being like, oh, let's have the chocolate and let's have the, I don't know, the spicy hot cocoa. If you've ever had that, I don't know why I named that. That's a very specific dish to a restaurant I go to, and I'm like, no one's gonna relate to that. But anyway, something that you're definitely like, let's set the whole vibe, let's have it all, and let's enjoy ourselves. I feel like you give off that vibe. So again, a lot of sex appeal coming off from you, a lot of people being convinced that you would be really amazing in bed. And I also feel like your body is just super beautiful on a physical level. Then we also have Neptune. Neptune rules over Pisces, the 12th house. So Neptune and Pisces are very dreamy energies, very imaginative energies, energies that can kind of seem not of this world. And also, speaking of wildflower, kind of Pisces isn't particularly earthy per se, but they love anything that feels like a dream, anything that feels like it's kind of extra beautiful, extra indulgent. They do love to indulge, they love to drink, so that's coming through really strong. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like you seem, and that's another thing about Pisces. Pisces does rule over drinking and also all kinds of those fun substances. So I do feel like you seem like someone who would be fun to party with, someone who would be fun to go out with, and someone who has a little bit of a dreamy vibe to them. Also Pisces, I think, are good manifestors because they are so imaginative. They can just put their mind on something and like with their little water magic make it happen. They're just, people say they're delusional, but Pisces get a lot of things done. They're very high up in the rankings of wealth and stuff like that. So again, I feel like you have that vibe of being a great manifestor, getting things done, and also having that beautiful aesthetic, because Pisces loves all beautiful things. People describe Neptune as the higher octave of Venus. So it's all about aesthetics. They love a little bit of beauty. They love anything that seems escapist or otherworldly or very dreamy vibe in some way. So again, I feel like there's something about you that just the way you dress and adorn yourself and put yourself together, people love it. They think you have a beautiful aesthetic, you smell really good, and you just have a beautiful vibe in general. And as I was mentioning at the beginning, I feel like you guys have beautiful bone structure, maybe very strong bone structure, but it's so striking. And I feel like you just really stick out. It's almost like you're one of those people that just has a very distinctive face, or very like it's easy to memorize your face. It's easy to remember exactly what you look like. And also your coloring being so beautiful, especially in the sunlight. But your coloring is so attractive. And yeah, I think a lot of people are really, really drawn to you, pile 4. So I really hope that resonated, guys. If it did, let me know in the comments. I always love hearing from you, hearing your thoughts, your stories, everything you guys have to say. So please let me know. Also, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. That really helps the channel. And if you want to see more of my content, head to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about an early love or relationship reading. So if you just started dating someone, it's a really great one to watch. But as soon as you sign up, you get access to over 60 additional readings about everything under the sun. I mean, I couldn't go through all of it. And currently, if you sign up right now, you still have time to vote in our poll for the next reading we're going to do. So you can still decide what we'll be talking about next. And we do polls from time to time and let you guys pick the readings we do. So if you want to sign up for that, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description, and I would love to see you over on Patreon. And if you want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me, have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel for you, whatever you would like. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back again very soon with another reading. So take care, guys, and I'll see you then. Bye.